What's up, y'all? It's the Black and White Show. The Black and White Show means, guess what? You either got one thing, you got black or white. That's it. I know I'm bald and kind of shiny and, the bright light bleeding into my head, but oh well, you know what I'm saying? Look at here. This is how it's going down today. Today we're going to talk about chains. Chains are things that hold people captive, bound to things that they can't break free from, can't get loose from. When I think about chains, I think about a bike. Like people park their bikes downtown and hook a chain up to their post so it can't get away from it. And that's how the enemy does us sometimes. The enemy will find something that he can chain us to and keep us bound so we can't get free. And so that God can't come and redeem us back from that thing that he's attached to us. But if we understand that the key is through him, that he already has the keys, the Bible says that Jesus went down into the grave and he came out with the keys that help, the keys to death. And guess what? Now that he has the keys, he has the key to unlock those chains that the enemy permanently tries to put on us. But God said, no, those things that the enemy throws on us are now temporary because he has everlasting power, all power to do all things. So now that he has all power, the Bible says, greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. So guess what? The person that is in the world is the person that is of this world. Who is of this world? Satan. Satan and his demons. And guess what? He used different people and different things and different avenues to try to attach to us, to keep us bound and chained so that we can't break free to get to the, guess who? Jesus Christ. But since he's already died, he's already defeated Satan, he already has what? The way to defeat him again. So that's why it says, greater is he that is in us than he that is of the world. Why? Because now that we have Jesus inside of us who has all power, we now, guess what? Have all power just as much as he does because he resides in us. 1 John chapter 3, the Bible says that God has placed his seed in us. It's not some seed that he took out of an apple and threw inside of us and said, now you're going to bear apples. No. He gave us the seed of his child, his son. When you think about seed, think about a person who's given birth to someone. And he gave birth to Jesus, but guess what? He placed them in us. He placed them in us to bear fruit out of us. Now that we have their fruit, we have all the things that were attached to Jesus. But Jesus said before he died, he said, now you would do even greater works than I did. Why? Because now we can bear his fruit plus the fruit that we'll bear through him. Oh my God. So now that we have all this fruit to bear, we have to manage it also. We can't just be Christians and then also just live the way we want to. No, that's not the way it goes. You have to be a disciple. A disciple is also discipline. If you spell the word discipline, you begin to spell the word disciple first. You can't be a disciple unless you're disciplined. So you have to discipline what you listen to. You have to discipline what you watch. You have to discipline what you talk. You have to discipline what you read. You have to discipline what you eat. Everything that pertains to your life is not just natural, it's also spiritual. You might say, oh, it's funny on TV, or I like listening to it because it's just good and it's positive. But just because it's positive doesn't mean it's positive for your spirit. Rest on that. So when you put on these earphones and this person is talking, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I grew up in the streets, but now I came out. I used to pack heat. Now I'm laying on the couch, laying with my pistol burner in my pocket. Y'all can't look in. I ain't gonna start doing that freestyle for y'all. But you see what I'm saying? There could be a positive message through what he's talking about, but at the same time, he can use expletives, or she can use expletives that are good for spiritual food, if you understand what I'm saying. Also, there are things that people use manipulatively through their music, like talking about other gods. We only believe in one God and one God only. So now you have this one person who you think just speaking positive music and how they made it and love and peace and joy, but the whole time they could be speaking hedonism over your life. And you never know it because you can't even fathom that, because you can't see past that it's positive. But the spirits inside of it sees past the natural because it's not natural, and it goes inside of your spiritual being, and now you're wondering, why are you now drifted away towards things that you never ever had a desire before? Now all of a sudden you're thinking about homosexual thoughts. Now all of a sudden you're thinking about trying to drink. Now all of a sudden you're thinking about having sex or losing your virginity or drinking and doing things that don't pursue a godly relationship. Those things that don't handle your spirit right. Those things that'll drive you away. If you think about people, some people say there's nothing wrong with drinking. But you ask the number one male, what's the reason why you cheated on your girlfriend? She don't wait for I was drinking. If you say there's nothing wrong with drinking, then look, take that one reason right there and you will know that it's not good enough. Look at drivers who are crashing and causing millions of accidents and killing people all over the world. What's the reason? 9 times out of 10 is because if a person was drinking and driving. You have thousands upon thousands, actually millions of people dying every day from lung and throat cancer. Why? Cigarettes. Why? God doesn't want us to have something that's going to deteriorate us and kill us. The faster we die, guess what? The less we can do for His kingdom. He wants us to maximize our lives so that we can do as much as we can for Him. Win as many souls for Him. But how can we do it if we're constantly consuming things that are drifting us away naturally? Now let's think about the spiritual side of it. Alright, you have somebody who's coming to you because they need prayer. They walk up to you, you're crushing a 40. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't know about you, but if I go to my pastor asking him to pray for me, he's drinking on some, Crown Royal or a 40 or whatever it may be, I'm not going to want him praying over me smelling liquor. It's just not going to happen. It's going to totally tune me out. So guess what? If you're not in tune in the natural, you can't help somebody grow in the spiritual. It's just not going to happen because people won't receive anything that's no different from them. Nobody wants to go to somebody who's living the same way they're living and ask them how can they change the way they're living. That's like saying, hey, look, I want to stop smoking weed. So you, the guy over there that's smoking crack, can you help me stop smoking weed? Because I don't want to live this life anymore. The blind can't lead the blind. Guess what? They're both going to be bumping each other's heads. That's it, tripping over each other. And it's the same way in the spiritual. Jesus wants to give us life. He wants to bring us into a fruitful living. But if we don't turn away from those things that eat away at our fruit, we'll never be able to pursue Him who will give us, guess what? Abundance. He will not give us abundance on flesh, but He wants to give us an abundance on life. But if we're full of flesh, God can't do any abundance in our life. He can't take us into an everlasting life. He can't take us into an eternal kingdom. The Bible says that, guess what? There's nothing in heaven that defiles heaven. It's not worded exactly like that. But guess what? There's no dirt. There's nothing unclean in heaven. That's what I'm really trying to say. So why would He let you, as unclean as you are, come over here? It ain't happening. It ain't happening at all. So think about that before the next time you go watch something that's going to curse you out or something that's going to be having sex. Something, if you wouldn't do it, let me tell you this. Whatever they're portraying on TV or portraying in the music, if you wouldn't do it in front of Jesus, then you don't need to watch it or see it. You don't need to listen to it. You don't need to say it. Period. Hands down. If you couldn't say, Jesus, come over, let's have a movie night, let's watch this movie, then you don't need to watch it. Because guess what? He's inside of you. So every time you watch the movie, you take Him with you. Every time you lay down with that girl, you're laying down with Him. You saying, Jesus, come on, have sex with this girl with me. Never thought about that, did you? But if He's inside of you, if you truly have Jesus inside of you, that's what you're doing every day. You pertain to those things that attract to your flesh. Let your flesh die. So Paul said, I die to my flesh daily. Die to it daily. Daily. Because He doesn't want to have anything to do with something that doesn't have to do with Him. If you pursue the things of the flesh, the things of the flesh will pursue you. But if you pursue the things of God, God will pursue you.
I'm so alone. The tear falls from my eyes. But when I see you, you're always happy, happy. You're nothing like you used to be. No, 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 no. You said it's all because of Jesus, Jesus. And I can use someone like that to come and set me free. Oh, you told me about a friend that they say can change my life. Introduce me. I wanna know Him. You told me He can take my wrong and make it right. Introduce me. I wanna know Him. My friend got shot.